Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jodie and I help you change your beliefs so you can change your body, your health, and your life. So as you can see, we have got a bit of a different setup for this video. We're currently in Sydney doing some shopping, eating all the food, visiting some friends, and doing some work because I can work anywhere and I love being able to take advantage of that. I decided I wanted to make a YouTube video. I don't have my tripod here, hence I am on the floor sitting in front of the couch, not on the couch. Anyway, back to the point of this video, I thought I would update you on how my current cut or weight loss phase is going, and kind of just, I was reflecting on it the other day and I thought I would share some of my reflections because it might help you when you are going through your own cut. So I have been eating in a calorie deficit now since November last year. I finished up with my bulk in October, and the reason I am eating in a calorie deficit is because I do not have the potential to go through body recomposition anymore, and so I have to go through cut and bulk cycles to continue to build muscle and lose body fat. So I ended up my muscle building phase or my bulk at the end of October 2021, and I came in at 63.6 kilograms. And then at the start of my deficit, my weight actually went up to the highest I've ever seen it, and it was 63.9 kilograms. So almost 64 kilograms. I've never weighed that much in my life. And yeah, I actually wasn't bothered by it though when I was almost 64 kilograms. So I am really proud of that because I have come such a long way in terms of that number on the scale. I remember I used to be scared to weigh 50 kilograms, let alone 64. Like, that is how far I've come. And then I was scared to weigh over 55, and then I was scared to weigh over 60. And every time I thought it's because it was going to make me feel fat, or I was going to turn fat as soon as that number went over, right, into the 60s, which sounds ridiculous, but that's just how our brains work. So I was really scared. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from this bulk and cut that I have experienced. I never felt fat when I was weighing almost 64 kilograms. I never even felt fat throughout my bulk. There was not one day where, yes, there was days where I was bloated and felt kind of blah because of that, but I know my body very well, and I know when I am bloated and just holding on to water, it does get to my head, but I have to constantly talk myself out of it and just be like, it's not fat, Jodie, keep going, stick to the plan, hit those high calories. And when I do, the bloating ends up going away, and then I kind of feel normal and not lean, like shredded lean, but I felt pretty lean throughout my bulk. Like, if I had have been actually feeling fat, I would have stopped earlier. But it's funny how those numbers can get to your head. For me, it wasn't the scale weight so much, and it wasn't whilst I was bulking, it was throughout this cut and towards the end of this cut that I was like, wow, I lost that much from my waist. Like, I must have been getting fat then. So far, I have lost 6 centimeters from my waist, which is a lot. I'm really bad at taking my measurements often. I'm lucky to take them once a month. I kind of just like to get into the rhythm of it, and it is important to take your data to see if you are making progress, but I find it easier to remain detached from the data when I'm not even really focused on it and I'm just focusing on the things that I need to. So in this case, it was consistently hitting my macros and then getting my workouts in and aiming to get stronger in my workouts, and then also hitting my step target. So my steps did go up for this cut from, I was doing 75 hard at the start of it, so that's why they were quite high. So I was having to get 2 workouts in every day, so I was staying focused on that. And I think doing 75 hard actually helped in terms of distracting me from the actual data, and I was more focused on staying super consistent for that challenge. Anyway, so I only checked my measurements for the first time 3 months in to the cut, which I would say that's not really enough, but because I've done the process before, I am working with a coach, I kind of know what to expect and I know it's working, so I kind of don't need to check them so frequently. Anyway, I did check them to see where we're at, And I went from 79 centimeters at the end of October, start of November, when I started my cut. Anytime you change the plan or have a new goal, you do need to get your data. So I took them obviously at the start of the cut, and then I took them at the start of February, and I have lost 6 centimeters from my waist. I was shocked to see that number, and I think the shock came because I haven't been consistently taking my measurements, right? Like, it's just, I've let 3 months pass, and what do you know, my measurements have gone down from 79 to 73 centimeters. It seems like this has happened overnight and it's happened so fast, but it's been 3 months and I have been so consistent with the process. Even over Christmas and New Year's, I had diet breaks, so it was a little easier to manage a deficit, but I'm kind of really good now at just sticking to a deficit no matter what the external environment is bringing my way, you know? Like, I've been in Sydney the past week and I am in a deficit. I've been making it work pretty much by skipping meals, and I can do that now comfortably without any repercussions because I have a really good relationship with food. This was not always the case, and I advise you, if you don't have a good relationship with food, don't go skipping meals and doing all of that. That's probably not going to work so well with you, and that's why it's really important as well to see where you're at and come up with a plan that is going to work for you, because that is definitely not something I think everyone should be doing. But for me, that was the easiest way to kind of just stick to things, make my deficit work, and still be able to go out for dinner and enjoy all the food. Back to my measurements, I could not believe that they had dropped that much, honestly, even though I was in a deficit, and that's kind of the purpose. Like, I want my weight to go down, and then I also want it to lose body fat, and the best way to assess that is by taking your waist measurement. But when I saw those numbers, I was shocked, and I remember thinking, oh my God, surely I was feeling fat when I was 79 centimeters compared to now. It just goes to show how much those numbers can really get to your head. But what is interesting to me is throughout my bulk, obviously for those numbers to come down that much, they had to go up, right? And this is where a lot of you hold yourselves back as well, is you're not willing to allow the numbers to go up so you can make future progress. You're always trying to cut, you're always trying to eat as little as possible or lose body fat. If you are past that body recomposition phase, then that is not going to work for you. You have to allow the numbers to go up so then they can come down again and you can show off the result, which is more muscle mass. Again, I want to also emphasize the fact that I was so detached from the numbers, I wasn't even looking at them, right? Especially throughout the cut. And it's made it go so much faster. I've kind of just focused on sticking to the plan, enjoying my life, and what do you know? 3 months later, I feel so much leaner, although I have been feeling leaner throughout the process. And I think that's another thing as well. How you feel matters. Like, how you feel reflects what is happening, and even if the numbers don't reflect that straight away, they will catch up. But it's usually how you are feeling, how you're seeing yourself in the mirror. That's what comes first. And I know a lot of my clients get in their head about it and they will see changes in the mirror, but they won't trust them. They will think they're seeing things or they're not real, and then they will check the numbers or like do their waist measurement, and that won't reflect what they thought they were seeing, so they think it's like they were making it up in their head. You can't always just look at the numbers either. You have to kind of like use everything, but definitely trust how you feel and how you see yourself first, how your clothes are fitting as well, and then the numbers catch up. They just usually take longer. And if you're constantly looking at the numbers, like I know some people take their measurements every single week, you can't expect your measurements to be changing every single week if you are measuring that frequently. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing if you want to do that, but I prefer to take measurements once a month, maybe once every 2 months. Like I know some people like to get into a bit of a rhythm with it and just do it every month, and that's kind of what I recommend to my clients. But I took them once in 3 months and got the nicest surprise because I wasn't focusing on that number at all. Anyway, I know it's hard to trust the process when you don't really understand what it looks like or what to expect. That is where I would recommend getting a coach or working with someone that does. Like, that is what I've always done. I've always had my own coaches. I love having coaches to walk me through the process. And if I am getting in my head about something, like in the past when I was scared of weighing 61 kilograms or scared of eating more food in case I got fat, like I had a coach to help me through that, to get me out of my head, to refocus my attention back to the process, to trusting that process. And because I've had that and gone through it a few times now, it's a lot easier to do it on autopilot now without even really talking to my coach about it. And I know a lot of you are like, why would you have a coach then? I love having coaches. It's just like, for some reason, to me, it makes the process more enjoyable. I take it more seriously. I like having someone else write my program. Previously, I was learning a lot as well. I'm not learning so much anymore, but yeah, for me, it's just worth it. The one last thing I wanted to address in this video is how long am I going to be cutting for? I know a lot of you want to have a timeline in your head as well, and I encourage you not to attach timelines to the process unless you are obviously a competitor and needing to get on stage, or if you're working towards an event, obviously then you have to have a timeline or a bit of a timeline attached. But if you don't, if you just let the process happen and if you keep your attention on the process and being consistent with the actions you need to take, it's going to be a lot easier for you, and you're probably going to achieve more than what you thought if you just had a focused on putting this timeline on there. Because usually it's going to take longer than what you think, but it doesn't mean that you can't make a heap of progress throughout that time. It's probably just going to be different to what you thought it would look like. So for me, it's going to take how long it's going to take. I have a goal to get back to around 60 kilograms, and then I'll probably start building again and just keep going through that cycle. I have no idea when I will hit 60 kilograms again. I'm currently at 61.5 last time I checked, which was before I left for Sydney. That is the lightest I've been for a while. I don't remember the last time I weighed 61, but obviously it was last year sometime. It doesn't really matter. And we're just gonna keep going now with the deficit until I hit 60, and how long that takes, who knows? I could work it out if I wanted to be pedantic about it in terms of like how much of a deficit I'm in, how long it takes to lose a pound of body fat and all of that, but I just don't care. Like, it really doesn't matter if it takes another week or another month or another 2 months. I am living my life, enjoying things in the meantime. That is all for this video. I hope it helped you. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. I put that in the description box. If you liked it, please like it. If you would like to see more, please subscribe. And if that is the case, I will see you in the next video.